Hey, it's Jack from Alphacharts with a state of the market video. Today is March 8th, 2025. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security, and I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching the video. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It takes just a second and it means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Also, you can find me on X at Alphacharts365. I run an educational subscriber group there. I do in-depth market reports and videos, focus list videos, midweek videos, market notes twice a week. Again, these midweek videos are twice a week as well. Um, Annotated chart setups, daily market scans. We do live streams. Remember, live streams about once a month, where it's very interactive. Again, I give you so much content, keeping you in the right side of the market and in the best names possible. I don't tell you what to do, but I just tell you what how I would manage risk. Everyone trades on their own, but this is great if you are working full time, new to trading, you have a family, just can't put the amount of hours in, or just want a second opinion on what you're seeing, right? Sometimes trading is a very lonely endeavor, and we want that second, voice to say, hey, maybe I'm looking at this a little bit differently. For only $10 a month, super, super affordable for everybody. And it's month to month. There's no contracts. So it's, give it a try, right? You have really nothing to lose, just $10. And the feedback has been absolutely amazing on it. So thank you all if you're a member. If you're not, give us a try. If you're not on X, you're a YouTube only watcher. I give the same video content here. You just click that join button, same price, and you see all the members only videos down here. The midweek on 3.6, the midweek on 3.4. There's your focus list video, it's shorter. There's your weekend video for members, it's longer. It's usually around 40 to 60 minutes. And then midweek updates and so on and so forth. All right, so check that out. Let's get into this video. All right, so we had the SPY, and we had what looked like it could have been a breakout right there and a complete fall apart. From top to bottom, let's do this calculation. Top to bottom right now, we're down to 7%, 7.75%. So the pullback's been, for real, right? And maybe it goes a little bit lower. We don't know for sure. It is holding the 200-day right now, which is good to see. But look how extended we are from the 50, right? We're still about what, 4 or 5, about 3.5% from the 50. So I would expect some sort of rally into maybe around this 580, 581 area, somewhere around there. And then we'll see what happens. So, yes, I like that there is some buyers showing up around the 200-day in this area right there. And yes, we may get some follow through, but until we can start to get above 585, I'm not all that interested in being aggressive in this market. There's not that much space right there anyway, so we'll see what happens. But I'd rather be patient and wait versus try to guess. And then, because you could have guessed right here and got smashed. You could have guessed right here and potentially gotten smashed, right? There's a lot of places here you could have guessed that it was the bottom and it just wasn't, at least not yet. Is this the bottom? We don't know yet. It's a possibility, right? This low right there, 565, 84, 85, whatever that is, 565, 63 becomes important, right? The new important low. But as of right now, I'm interested to see what type of rally we get into this 581-ish area, and then what does it look like, right? Right now, I'm still seeing a ton of distribution on this chart. So again, nothing that makes me want to buy this chart yet. On the week, SPY was down 3% on the week. So again, don't let Friday taint what the week actually looked like. It was not a nice week, down 3%, 3.07. RSP was down 1.92, a little bit better. And same idea though for RSP. It comes back 179 or so is the area. I am glad it held this general area, but in the end, you know, once the rally ensues, if we get it, I want to see what it does here. I don't really care so much what it does here. On the Qs, same look, but this one is actually below the 200-day, right? So much weaker than the SPY. Um, same general idea. That's what this would be the more likely scenario, I think, but I don't know, and I'm not going to front run anything on the week. Down 3.23, again, a little bit worse. Equal weights were down 2.52. Did hold the important $90 level. And when we go into the daily chart, you see that it's 89 to $90 has been really, really important, and it remains important. It did hold there. That's really positive, but it closed below the 200-day moving average for 2 days now. That's an issue. Yes, we may get a snapback, but until we can sort of reclaim some of these moving averages, I'm not interested all that to be all that aggressive. Mid caps looks exactly the same. So you see on downtrends how the market moves in unison, right? It moves together. Down 3.5% on the mid caps. Again, just a really ugly look to it. Yes, it's trying to hold, but we don't know if it, trying to hold here. You see a little snapback there. There's been lots of wicks on the bottom. Um, and I'm not willing to call the bottom yet. It did kind of hold if we pulled this, which was back from, so do a weekly on that just to take a look at what that looks like. Yeah, so you see this prior peak is about where it came to. So it is a place where you may see some buyers show up, right? Because we do have this from 2021 high. And then we'll see, if this is just a retest of that breakout, well, that's pretty good then. Then we're in a good market and we don't have to be the first in the pool because we really haven't missed anything and we can, get involved, later. Here's your IWM down 4% on the week. Again, just an absolute brutal week in the market. And you can see how it just could not break out again. Whether you put this here, or you put up here 245, had issues in the same spot and came all the way back in. So not a good look um, across the board in any of these, even though Friday would make you think that market was doing better than it was all week long. Yes, maybe the bottom, but we have no idea if that's it yet. Let's look at the key indexes. So you see financials took it on the chin this week, man. Holy smokes. Down almost 6%, right? That's never good. Absolutely on the chin. There's, our buyers, I don't know, look how extended we are. Why would buyers show up right here? Remains to be seen. SMH, kind of a choppy week, up 2.5% almost on Friday, but down 3.34 in the week. So, this chop here, you can't get excited for this yet. Not for me. Um, We'll see below the 200-day, below the 50-day. 50-day has now crossed the 200. It's been in this choppy, rangy mess for a long time. Just an avoid at this point. XSD, same idea. On the week, they were down 1.55. So a little bit better, a lot better actually than SMH. But still below all the moving averages. 200 days starting to turn lower, 50 days turning lower. So a lot of damage has been done on the chart. IYT, which is transports, down 2.05. Again, breakout. We got lower highs. We'll see if we get a lower low here. Not yet, but we're looking for that. But we definitely have lower highs going on there. And I like, XTN better, to be honest. That was down 4.7%, but I think it's a better representation of what's going on in transports being equal weighted. And it got demolished this week, down over 4%. Um, so again, we have transports just cascading down. ITB housing, maybe the most important chart in the market on the week. It was actually up 1%, right? So the first chart we said was up was maybe the one that's the most dangerous. So we can easily see this head and shoulders topping pattern right there. And if you've been following these videos, I've been talking about this, saying that this was too truncated short. We needed to build out a little bit more. Doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but I felt like it needed to be more symmetrical, which is why I was expecting some sort of bounce. We did get that bounce, about 1%. Okay, great. So what happens here? I mean, obviously nobody knows, but we get the bounce up into the moving averages. I think, the 50-day is the absolute, if you're bearish, the absolute line in the sand, and it would have to turn over at some point at the 50-day or before. And really the break of this 95 level, 95.35, whatever this low is. Low is, yeah, 95.35. And then that would confirm the major top happening here. So boom, a lackluster bounce, and then a rollover. Again, the bounce has been lackluster. That was a good day right there. That was a decent day right there. But overall, it's been okay. I guess nothing to write home about. Nothing that gives me conviction that it's not going to break down. And that's the other option, right? The other option is that this is just in a sideways consolidation and it's not a top and it's just a consolidation. I think that's a lower likelihood idea. I think it being a top is the higher likelihood idea right now. Could be wrong, but that's the way all the other charts are leaning. So why wouldn't I think this is a top, right? But again, if it doesn't confirm, I'm very happy and we'll adjust as we go. XHB looks similar enough. You see it. It was also up 0.42 in the week, and slightly up on Friday too. But same idea, just bear flag-esque right in here. So nothing I'm not that interested in. Hear my dog in the background. Sorry about that. Maniac dog. Anyway, so mags. Let's get to mags. Mag 7, that's what this ETF does. And this was a very important area right there. And you see how we just kind of went right through it. Wasn't all that important in the end. And closed below the 200-day moving average. Again, very, very weak. 50-day is right here with the VWAP from the high right there. So there's your 50-day right in there at 54.36. And on the week, Mag 7 was down 4.5%. So again, everyone's 401k and retirement is crying right now because everyone's overexposed to these names, me included, in those retirement accounts. But overall, again, it was right there at the 200-day moving average, closed 2 cents above it actually. And again, not a good look. And again, really bad on the week. But these really bad weeks, again, we're going to get a snapback rally. Look how extended we are from the 50-day moving average, right? I mean, 10% from the 50-day. You have to expect a snapback rally 2, 3 days a week. What do I know, right? But I would expect the rally. That's what I do know. I know I'm expecting some sort of rally probably next week into these moving averages. If we think that this is a bear flag, you could consider a short position right there. If you think this is the bottom, you can start to, do progressive exposure and get long right there, right? So it gives us options coming into this week. I'm still suspect this market. Again, I don't want to be aggressive anything. Hope it does recover. Hope it, this is a V bottom and we get this type of look right there. You go up and then you just continue higher. That is a case I'm very, very, very open to, that this could be a double bottom and this V's up and this is the bottom, right? That is a case to very much consider. It's too early to know though. But if we can get above this 585, we'll call it 585.50-ish or so, 586, somewhere around there, that would give me more confidence in a V double bottom type of scenario. And if it rolls over right around that spot, then obviously then it's not, right? All right, so that is what I got for you. Just still a very cautious market, right? There's no reason, again, to be the first in the pool, first one to the party, whatever you want to say. Let's wait for some confirmation that things are getting better, and then we can start to add some progressive exposure. If you haven't done so, check me out on X at Alphacharts365. Click that subscribe button. It's really worth it. You're gonna love it. If you're on YouTube, same idea. Click on that join button, and I think you're going to love it. A lot of great feedback from both platforms. Again, same information. All right. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.